Ready, hunt!
Going back here through the Iowa State game, and was once again just very pleased with the overall win and in the conditions that they were. If anyone was at the game or was outside whatsoever, you knew what I'm talking about between the 50, 60 mile per hour winds, for the most part drizzle throughout the game. The conditions are just different than any that I've been in 13 years here, but. I was pleased. Offensively, we really ran the football well, right around 250 yards rushing, minus 20, 30 yard, where we muffed or missed our snap on the punt. So it was really a solid day that way. Glad of the improvements we've made there. And Landry, I thought, managed the wind really pretty well with a lot of good throws. We had more drops than usual. Again, some of that because of that, the conditions. But still was a good win defensively to keep them to one touchdown through the entire day. And that was set up by the muffed punt where they got the ball at the 10-yard line going in. So it was a good, solid day for them. Guys that played well, Tom Wart had maybe his best game since he's been here. Just had a great game. Frank Alexander, again, was one of our players of the game, was really disruptive, caused the first fumble on the second play of the game that we end up, just starting the game in a great way. Corey Nelson playing at the DN spot that he hadn't played before, at least not in the way we played him, had another great game, was also a player of the game. T. Lewis also played well, and a few other guys. Offensively, players of the game were Brandon Williams, Dwan Miller, and Tyler Evans up front. Really all had special games, along with a few other players, did well. Thought Michael Honeycutt, again, with the wind conditions, really hit the ball great. The two he hit at the end of the first half into the wind were really solid, and he continues to really do well. So it gives us the opportunity here coming into this week, going to Stillwater to compete for another championship. Before I get started in going into this game, I would like to say that along with, I hope, most everybody continues to keep, the families that were involved in the tragedy there at Oklahoma State in their prayers and in their thoughts. I know I do, with Coach Budke, Coach Cerna, and the Brandstetter family. Just really sad when we, even though you're rivals, that's way too close to home, and it's really Bedlam aside. That's just really sad, and hopefully everyone again continues to keep them in their prayers, and the girls on the team, that are so close to them all. So that's just really difficult. Going to the game this week, it's exciting in that here we are again, last game of the year to both of us to be playing for the championship. It's really worked out well in that the other teams, conferences that have the championship games are all playing that day, and here we are in the same light. So that's really positive, and I think for the conference, for the schools, and again to have a chance to win another championship and an opportunity to be another BCS Bowl special here in the last week. It'll be a tough challenge, going, back-to-back years here to Stillwater against a really good football team that's had a great year. They're coming off the one loss here just a week ago, but a team that's really played well. Their production offensively has really been special, throwing the ball, but, they still can, run the football effectively. And defensively, very disciplined, very sound. I've made a ton of turnovers, which is, been the biggest, I think, one of the bigger factors in their season. So it'll be important for us to, to protect the football and not turn it over. Defensively, to play really sound football and, first take away the run game and then hopefully, cover well, get to the quarterback, all the things you hear about every week. And depending on the weather, you'll have to deal and manage the weather in the proper way too. So But I know the players are, very excited about the challenge of it and looking forward to it.
How did it work out that you went back-to-back Stillwater?
You'd have to ask the Big 12 office and Joe Castiglione and all the ADs and how, I guess the same way, Oklahoma State had to go to Texas back-to-back years. I don't, we were presented a few different, options, and I didn't like any of them, quite honestly, be quite honest with you. So it's just, in the way the whole, playing a round robin and the way it all had to work, I guess that's just how it had to happen.
They may have to redo the schedule again with West Virginia. At least that's what Chuck Ninus said. So you got any problem with going to Stillwater next year too?
Yeah, that might be an issue. So.
The Big 12 has come out officially and said even if you win, they're going to do tri-champions or multiple champions. Have they talked to you
Yeah, I
about
don't get that, but they do what they want. I don't. Did you ask them what happened to their whole promotion of the one true champion? You should have. I mean, that's all I heard for 2 days on the whole Big 12, right? Coaches media circuit down there, and I kind of took offense to it because we'd won 7 of them. I thought they were all true ones, so I thought they were changing it, that this was going to be the one true one, and I guess they reneged on that. So I don't know. That doesn't make much sense to me, but let them explain it.
So even if Kansas State and OSU would promote themselves as tri-champions, you're saying you wouldn't if you lose? You wouldn't accept the championship, the tri-championship?
Well, we'll see if we're ever in that position, but in the end, we don't. It's just forever here. We even with our division, championships, we never claimed anything if we weren't in the Big 12 championship game. That our bottom line is winning it.
Bob, they always talk about all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams. They're one of the best special teams in the country year in, year out, and this year especially with a good kicker, punter, and then one of the top kickoff men in the country. Talk about the special team matchup and the impact on this game.
Oh, it's always a factor. Definitely I like our punter and kicker. They've been really good all year too. And, so they've got some excellent kickoff returns. And, in the last 3-4 weeks, we've been really good kickoff returning as well. So it's always a major factor in your coverage, your returns, those kind of things. I know this, was it 2 years ago? Ryan Broyles had about 200 yards in returns when we beat them 20-0, and that was maybe the biggest part of the game. And that was, that's what I remember about that game. He had punt return yards all over the place to me that made a huge difference in the game. So it's always a factor.
Bob, Mike Gundy agrees with you as far as we asked him yesterday, and he said there should be only one.
Yeah, I figured Mike would, and so that's just. If you're playing each other, it's pretty simple, If you weren't, then I get that. Some of the the Big Ten ones, they didn't have a championship game and 2 teams didn't play each other. Well, that makes sense.
Bob, you guys obviously struggle a little bit against elite passing teams here this season. This is one of the best in the country. Talk about that matchup and what you guys need to do to be successful.
Yeah, we need to be able to cover people, to be in the zones we're supposed to be in, to be whether we're zone or man, those kind of things, to have some discipline and responsibility in where we're going, to do a good job studying and understanding where they like to go, and then hopefully get pressure, to make them, force him to move his feet or to throw the ball sometimes before he wants to, and to force their hand a little bit.
How did your safeties play this past week?
They did well. Everybody really played well last week. When you hold someone to, I don't know what it was, 240 some yards and 6 points, you've done pretty well.
We should go with the same starting lineup, Proctor.
Oh, we'll
Strong
see.
and
We'll
Aaron.
we'll mix it up some.
Will Alexander and Jazz Reynolds start?
Yes.
What do you think about
Well, it's only Tuesday, but that's how I projected.
has Frank? I don't know a better way of saying this. Has he made himself some money going into his senior year? The senior year that he's had. Is it his bottom line? Is that he's really impressed some people?
He's had a huge year. Yeah, everybody's recognized it. He just played at a different level than he did a year ago, and he's just been disruptive, you know, whether it's pressure, sacks, tackles for loss, the fumble, you know, forced fumble the other day, he just batted balls. He's just been very, very active, and he's had a huge year for him and for us.